Boycott.
Boycott.
Come on, man.
Well, you gonna cancel me too?
Mark Schlereth and Jim Jackson are back.
Cancel Marcellus.
As you all know, I'm a journalist, and we've got our resident Ivy Leaguer here, Whitlock Wiley. So we're going to take a deeper look at a big issue in the world of sports.
Yes.
Got a special cap for our Columbia grad, Darnell.
That Darnell.
Darnell's losing weight, man.
He is.
Yeah, what are you doing? What you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm on that treadmill every day.
That LA lifestyle makes you want to do that, don't it?
All right.
Cauliflower French fries. Cauliflower.
Let's move to Kyler Murray, who made waves after spurning the MLB to pursue a career in football. The NFL Network reported this week that there's a concern among scouts that Kyler's father, Kevin, who was a star quarterback at Texas A&M, is actually calling the shots in Murray's career and could be a headache. Kyler's former coaches at Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley and Bob Stoops, say the report is untrue, but he's hardly the only African-American athlete in recent years whose parents have been criticized for being too involved with everyone from LaVar Ball to Annie Apple to Lamar Jackson's mom going under the microscope. Question here, is there a bigger issue here? Should we play the race card here, or what's going on with the media as it relates to Kyler Murray and his dad? And I'm going to just say no, because my narrative on all professional sports is it's just a television show. And as more and more money pours into these TV shows, just like in real Hollywood, the more money that got poured into Hollywood, the more stage parents show up. Mm-hmm. And we've been criticizing stage parents in Hollywood for years, white, black, whomever. Mm-hmm. And now that there's all this money in professional sports, I don't halfway blame the parents for going along for the ride. It's too tempting. I would say I wouldn't do it, but that's easy to say from the sideline.
A mixed bag of nuts. You say don't play the race card? Let me look at my hand. Damn, all these cards say race. Wow, that's the race card, man. I'm gonna play it right here because I was a part of the San Diego Chargers organization on the way out, but still deeply involved with it. And I remember when there was a involved parent, to the tune of the most involved I've seen in NFL history, in Archie Manning telling the my son's not playing there. And I don't remember the negative connotations. I don't remember that being termed as meddling and interfering. But now, when you said it, is LaVar Ball, Eli Apple, Lamar Jackson, it starts off in a positive. Oh, he's using his mother as an agent. Oh, his mother is involved. And then it just, there's a problem. We're creating a monster. What we're seeing from Kyler Murray is unprecedented. It's never been done in history. Top 10, potentially #1 overall in 2 sports. Bigger than Deion Sanders, bigger than Bo Jackson. So when I'm doing an interview for Dan Patrick and my dad is sitting there off camera saying, yes, no, maybe, we don't want to answer that, because I am handling 2 industries where I have 2 mega lotto scratch and sniffs. And you sitting there getting mad at me for using my father for support, for guidance, when that should be the way. So Daddy's not along for the ride, because Daddy was an All-American football player who was drafted out of high school to play baseball as well. So if I can't lean on my father, but I'm expected to get drafted and in a couple of months call this guy coach or yes, sir, or look at him as a father figure. Are you kidding me? My father figure is my father. So if I pause in moments of indecision, please don't criticize me, and certainly don't take it to my family. Race card.
Yeah, I don't know about the race card. I understand what you're saying. I would say Archie Manning's got a little bit more clout based upon his NFL career and based upon his brother, or Eli's brother, Peyton, and what he was able to do in the NFL as well. So that's NFL royalty, and I think, that's a little bit different.
Good point.
I think one of the things that you have to look at from a parental standpoint is, I have a son who's a professional athlete, and there have been many times where people during my son's college career where other parents were upset about however it was going. I'll never forget, they were going to go to some administrator to talk about how the coach talked to the kids, and they wanted me to be on board with them. And I said, absolutely not. And I'm like, does your son aspire to be a professional baseball player? And they said, yes. And I go, do you think this is the worst they'll ever hear? If you're going to fight their battle here, are you going to be on the bus with them in the minor leagues? Are you going to do those things? Part of it, you have to give the guidance to let your kid navigate those situations. I think there are a lot of parents that don't understand the pressures, that don't understand professional sports in general. Now, Kyler has an interesting situation, as you mentioned, with his father being an elite athlete, being drafted in baseball as well. I'll take his coach's word at it that he wasn't meddling in any way, shape, or form. But hey, man, as a parent, you're entitled to give your kids wise counsel, and I hope that's it. Unfortunately, there's been plenty that have overstepped their bounds. When
Tom Marinovich.
right, Tom Marinovich was one. I mean, you look at what is it, LaVar Ball's doing, and when he's talking about, when you're talking about, hey, I could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. Well, instantly you're like, oh, come on, dude, stop. Stop that stuff.
But you have a child that play, my son, okay, that plays. So I got personal experience and running AU programs. I run into parents all the time. And here's I think the difference between the two. That the father, or a lot of times it's the father, who probably didn't make it, is living through his son a lot of times. And that's the father you're going to have an issue with. Yeah. The one that didn't quite make it, but is doing everything and living through his son. And I see it all the time. And and the child ends up getting a bad rap because of that. Okay, he can be a great kid, but because of the father. And from the mom's perspective, the protection side of it. So for so many years, it was like a young kid comes out of school, you go hire this person, your family stays over here. But now the family got more involved, and now they have a voice. We have social media. They say something, it get blown up. Now we got an issue with the family.
Right.
It depends on what degree that is. If it's more out of concern, I'm saying, listen, I think my son or my daughter is better fit here. This is what I want. And it's not the demand part of it. They feel more comfortable. But once you start making demands on certain things, that's when it blows up and it's an overbearing father.
Yeah, it's weird. The media narrative is a power trip. It's like controlling. Like, I have 3 kids, 19, 3, and a 4-week-old. Trust me, when they turn 18, I'm not letting them go. When they turn 22, I'm not letting them go. Now, you want to sit there and deem that as overbearing or something. That is my child for life. Now, they're going to make their own decisions. They're going to speak for themselves. But if you're trying to say me sitting there shotgun with them and giving them support and guidance, which we're seeing from Mr. Murray with Kyler Murray, I don't understand why that's a negative. I don't understand how this story got legs.
I'm going to tell you why it's potentially a negative for an NFL franchise. You're partnering up with that quarterback. And what they'd like to do is just have a direct connect between the quarterback, the owner, the general manager, and the head coach. That's the partnership. And I say this because, again, the guy that I grew up with, that, again, me and Jeff George are really close. We tell each other we love each other. And he had a problem in terms of perception because of the closeness of his family. Teams in the NFL, the word got out, he's too close to his family. We can't establish the kind of connection we want with him because that connection in terms of football is more with his family than us. That is, and again, this is Jeff George, white quarterback. This conversation's been going on forever. And as Jeff George and I have talked about it, it's like he got ridiculed because he loved his mama's dirty underwear and she loved his. And he got ridiculed for it. She was very close to him. And one day he called me and goes, how come the media didn't treat my family and me and my relationship with my mother the same way the media does Kevin Durant and his mama? And he's like, why? Why couldn't I get that treatment? And his mother's passed from cancer. It's the closest person to him. And so I just think, Marcel, this goes along with people just like, hey, man, we're about to give this guy a lot of money and he's going to be we may take him. Our jobs could be dependent on his success. We want to partner with Kyler. Not so sure we want to partner with Kevin as well.
Well, why create the distance? All I ask is, as a father, and I would ask as Kyler, why would you want to create distance from what got me here? Why would you want to create distance from something that has helped fuel me? For discipline, exactly.
No, it's a different discipline, the NFL.
I just want to be able to be honest. Like, I don't want, if I'm coaching you, I want to be able to coach you honestly and say, and I'm very honest with my son. I'm like, hey, man, you're not good enough here, here, and here. And until you fix these things, you're not going to be good enough. And let me tell you how professional athletics works. Now, unfortunately, a lot of kids that get to this level, you know what their parents have said? Oh boy, you know, it's like these guys that audition on singing shows. Well, my mom says I can sing. Well, you can't sing a lick. Your mom is lying to you.
Your mom loved you to death.
Your mama lied to you.
Yeah.
All right, well, stick around. Later in the show, we'll give you our approval ratings for Kyler Murray. And Uncle Jimmy explained why Kyler's dad is nothing like LaVar Ball. Also coming up, Twitter went wild for Dwayne Wade's last night with good reason. We get into that and the best and worst of social media.